It's sharp, man.
The museum. Oh, and the old, how nice.
All right, at this time, we're going to call to order the meeting of September 26th, 2023. We're going to go around the room, and I'm going to ask that all members introduce themselves, speaking into the microphone. Jane, can you start by introducing yourself?
Yes, I'm Jane Camp.
Laura Powell.
I'm Elizabeth Jones.
Faye Brassey.
And Mark Hamas.
All right, next, we have no members absent. Next, I'm going to allow the city staff to introduce themselves.
I'm Brad Callender, Planning and Zoning Director.
Laura Wilson, Code Administration.
Okay, next, what we want to do is have an approval of the agenda. Has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda? Okay. Do we have an approval, do we have a motion to approve the agenda as submitted?
I move we approve the agenda as submitted.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes of the last, well, actually, I guess I need to say the date of the last,
August 22nd.
August 22nd, it was August 22nd, 2023, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody have any changes or corrections to the minutes of August 22nd, 2023? Can I ask you to vocalize that into the microphone and raise your hand? If you approve?
Aye.
Aye.
Approve.
Do we have a motion, do we have a motion to approve as submitted?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
Yes, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, there we go. Motion carried. All right, do we have any old business? All right, any new business? Let's see, everything looks like new business. First up, looks like request for COA 123 North Broad Street, signage.
Yes, our first item on the agenda is in the Monroe Commercial Historic District. It is for 132 North Broad Street. This is near the intersection of Highland and Broad. It is the building next to Salon 124, which you guys saw recently. And this is an application for signage for a new restaurant called the Thirsty Moose. They're doing some window signage and a hanging sign right here. It's approximately where it's going to be, and this is a rendering of what it will look like. And we asked the applicant to come forward. If you could state your name into the microphone, please.
My name is John Carlo Pedeswa.
All right, and if you could tell us about the project.
Yeah, we're just, actually, I think that bottom rendering actually is incorrect. I think maybe Daniel sent the wrong image.
Okay.
There won't be 3 stickers, there will only be 2, and it'll be on the outside windows
Okay.
Thank you.
now. The sign's made out of metal, they're making it up right now. We're excited, we're ready, we should be opening, we're shooting for November, December, if all things go well, if not, first of the year.
The Thirsty Moose, what are you serving?
It'll be kind of the upscale American tavern. Kind of taking an insight on what the town does not have. That's my goal, is to issue or provide a healthier kind of option that's not, going off the wall of like just grease infested. It's,
Give me
Like
one
we all love.
example.
an example would be like our salad selection. We have 3 or 4 salads we're going to be doing. Nice, healthy portions, fresh ingredients. Our sandwich side won't be like burgers and other sandwiches of that nature. We'll do like your cold cut sandwiches. I'm from up north, so I'm used to having that grinder style sandwich where it's fresh cold cuts, fresh lettuce, fresh tomato, stuff like that, while hitting in on just bringing everybody in. Wings is one of our biggest options, just because I lived in Gwinnett, and that was a dime a dozen. You can go to, Buffalo Wild Wings, Taco Mac. I just feel like our town doesn't have the place for Sunday or Saturday football to come in and get some wings and fries and bring the family in, watch the game, and we'll be in the parameters of stuff like that.
Okay.
We also have a second portion to our business that I think I don't know if you all know, but Laura knows, and maybe she'll disclose that with you all after the meeting.
Well, I had one question. Is this a franchise?
No, ma'am.
I was concerned of Drunken Moose. We don't have any moose.
Oh, no. It's actually playing off my father. My father was an executive chef for 48-plus years, and his first restaurant, it was the Thirsty Moose. So I'm kind of paying my respects. I lost my father in 2019, so it's kind of like my giving back to him and my mom.
I like that. That's a good story.
Yes, ma'am.
You need to do that on your menu.
I will. We have a saying in
That's
our
a nice
family.
story.
We have a saying in our family that kind of has lived on for, I guess, as old as we are. Is that our saying was until we eat again, because that's we like to bring everybody in. You sit at the table, and the next time we'll see you, we're definitely eating. So that was something my father always said. But we'll have a nice little kind of story
I like that.
on the tables to
Yeah.
represent it. I do have one question, if I may. Being that the building hasn't been, I don't want to say renovated, or I don't want to say uplifted, but the paint on the outside, would I be able to touch that up, or would I have to come back?
Paint color.
In this one, I would say in the one section that's painted, but I would say you can't, like that, the little sections that are already painted, wouldn't you say, Laura? But if we address that now, but you can't paint something, I would say you can't really paint the brick that has not been painted.
Yeah, no, it would just be the pre-existing, what's shown right there. I wouldn't be going above or anywhere else.
You're just touching up the areas that have already been painted.
That's correct. I'd keep the cream, and then those 2 columns right there. The only thing I'd ask is if I may go black, just to kind of match my signs, and because it's like almost like a forest hunter green.
And we don't dictate paint colors, so, I mean, if you just want to touch up the pre-existing areas that have already been painted, I mean, you guys, I mean, I don't think that should be a problem, but you just don't want to paint something that hasn't already been painted, especially masonry.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
Just, my wife was wondering that question, that's all.
Thank you for.
Absolutely.
Thanks for clarifying that. Okay. Does anybody on the panel have any questions?
Well, I just have a visual thing, and I know this is just a picture, but I'm looking at the distance here, and I'm looking at the distance here, and it's not level. You see, the sidewalk isn't level either, but I think you need to be aware of that when you're putting the sign up.
Yes, ma'am.
So-
It's something, I'll clarify that with Daniel to make sure that the bottom of that
Visually.
logo is even on both sides.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll do that tonight.
Yeah.
Good, that's a good call, Faye.
Well, it's the artist in me, but I'm glad you're not doing 3 also, so.
Yeah, I apologize for that, yeah. I
That's
saw it
okay.
when I was back there, I said, whoa. It wouldn't look good.
Well, and I don't think it would matter to us whether you put, 2 here or 2 here.
Yes, ma'am.
I just think that third was kind of
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
messy.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. I don't know. I honestly think prior to this conversation, actually, I know exactly why that is, because he was rendering in the right one, And our logo actually has a rope that is kind of like a symmetrical in between the moose kind of bordering. And when he would do the design, it would not come out correctly. So we moved to a solid line instead of the rope, and that's exactly
I
what that
see the
is.
difference, I can
Yeah.
see it, Anybody else have a comment or question? No? Does anybody out here have a question or comment? No?
We're okay on code size, I'm presuming,
Yes, ma'am.
okay?
You have to invite us for a soft opening.
I sure will.
Just forward.
I sure will, absolutely.
Well, with that being said, I'll make a motion to approve.
And I second.
I'm joking on that.
Do we have a motion, Laura, do we need to have a motion to approve as presented, and do we need to include, because I know we don't talk about paint color, but do we need to talk about approving painting the woodwork at all?
Pre-existing
The
woodwork.
pre-existing, the painted woodwork pre-existing at all in this, or no?
No, because it's pre-existing.
Okay, all right.
And he's gonna paint it cream except for
So let's just talk, so we just need to have a motion to approve as presented then,
Correct.
okay?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
and I second.
All right, all in favor, and we need to vocalize into the microphone and make a hand gesture.
Aye.
Favor, yes.
Yes.
All right,
Thank you very
motion
much.
carried, thank you so much.
Thank you, and welcome to Monroe.
All right, so
Our-
next on the agenda, we have, go ahead, Laura.
I'll say, the next item on our agenda is 400 East Church Street. It's in the East Church Street Historic District. The house is at the corner of East Church and Millage Avenue, and they are requesting just a shed at this time, not a fence. There was some question about whether it be a fence and a shed. Right now, it is just a shed. And I'd like the members to note that there was a lot created on this property recently in the past month. So this is a new lot, so the property now ends approximately right here, and that's about where he's gonna have the shed placed. Here's an image of the shed, and sometime in the future, there might be a privacy fence that goes along the backside, but right now, it is just the shed here. If you could introduce yourself into the microphone.
This is Chuck Bradley, Charles Bradley.
Okay, and if you'd like to talk about the project?
I guess we have had our former house, we had a basement, and now we need another area in which to store.
I'm not hearing you.
Oh, I'm sorry. We need a little bit more area in which to store our outside things. So we're going to have the shed built for us. And we tried to match the color and the style of the house that we just moved into a couple of days ago. So the gable, black gable with and white walls.
Well, thank you for choosing one that kind of goes with your house, gable, and it's in keeping with the style of the house. We can't have it look exactly like the house this day and time. That's impossible, but it does go.
Does anyone here have any questions? Mark, any questions? Does anyone out here have any questions? No? Do you have a motion?
I move that we accept the motion that has just been presented to us by Chuck Bradley.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion unanimously approved. Thank you so much for coming in.
And thank you for preserving one of our houses.
Welcome to your new house.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I did want to mention that is an infill lot that was created behind the house, and it would require your approval for our new construction on that lot. So when that does come up, you will see it.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have Phase 2 of the Historic Survey update. Laura?
Yes. So. All right, as you all know, WLA Studio out of Athens is conducting the Historic Resource Survey for us. We are in Phase 2, which is in the northeast section of the city, as you can see highlighted in yellow on the map here. Our consultants have turned in 25% of the survey for the state for a preliminary review. And over here, you can see the streets on the left-hand side that they have started surveying. So far, they've completed 173 resources, and I created a graph to show you the breakdown of their preliminary evaluation for National Register eligibility. It's split pretty evenly, 66 yes, 56 no, and 51 not determined. And that simply means that they could not tell based on called a windshield survey, just physically looking at it from the street. They'd have to do some research, which they weren't able to do at that time. So that's sort of questionable, maybe yes, maybe no. And of that 173, this is the breakdown according to building type. And if you remember, building type is different than architectural style. Building type refers to the physical shape of the structure. The majority of what they surveyed were ranches by far, but also, a few split levels, American small houses, bungalows and cottages. And then there were some miscellaneous structures like apartments and gas stations that they did. So you can kind of see the breakdown of each type, which one is eligible, not eligible, and might be eligible. So, do you have any questions for me about the survey right now? It's sort of in the middle of it, and this is just kind of where they are right now.
It's exciting.
It's very exciting.
I can't wait to keep progressing through this. This is
And
great data.
when you said the next phase begins,
So this, I'm not entirely sure why DCA got behind, but they're concurrently doing Phase 2 and Phase 3. We have contracted with WLA to also do Phase 3, but they haven't actually started doing the groundwork yet for that. We're just in the preliminary phase of sign the contract and things like that.
so we don't have a completion date.
We don't have a completion date. Well, technically, the completion date for Phase 3 is not until 25, I think. Yeah, it's a very odd date.
I would say most of these
Yeah.
these things take a long time to do. There's just so many structures, and just in general, most of these companies are so far behind anyway. We were lucky to even get them, but I would just say that most of these companies are just so far behind. It just takes a long time to do these.
Yeah, probably target end date for the entire thing is 26.
And because you said this is,
For this section.
yeah, this is just 25%.
The whole
For this
For the
next
whole-
section.
no, for the whole thing, all four
For
phases.
all the sections?
Yeah, all this,
Phase 1's done, this is 2, talking
yeah,
about
3,
phase
and then
here.
4.
Right.
Yeah, it's roughly a year to complete a phase, and there's 500 resources approximately per phase.
Now, here's my question, because after all of this, I know that the handbook suggests that we go back and add to the districts and, like look at what we can add to it, reevaluate and add to it. Are we going to write additional grants to do so? To add to, to do additional survey to add to the districts?
I think it'll be a discussion to have if you want to move forward with creating more districts, or if you wanted to pursue updating the primer and getting some design guidelines.
I think we should update the primer, and I do
Right.
think we should get design guidelines, and I think we should add to the district. I think we should do all of it.
All of
Right,
that,
so
all of
it'll
that.
be a conversation as for priorities and which ones to make a recommendation.
Considering the amount of time it takes to do all of it, I think we should go ahead and, you know what I'm saying? It takes such a long to do all of it, we should lay the groundwork to do all of it, so, because it takes so long, you know?
Yeah.
It's so many years.
Well, I think if we don't, we're gonna lose a lot of it.
Right.
Because it's fast evaporating before our eyes.
If it takes 5 to 10 years to do each
Don't say
phase, we need to
10.
lay the groundwork to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you for doing.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully, the next update I have will include a written report for you all to look at. Okay, and that's all I've got.
All right, well, so I guess the next thing on our agenda is an adjournment. Do we have an emotion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This concludes the HPC meeting of September 26, 2023. We are adjourned.